From the Detroit Free Press, I'm Robin Shan with today's Voice Briefing. It's Thursday, May 29th, 2025.
This is John Carlisle. Few places have changed as much and as quickly as Hamtramck. For a century, this little town was so Polish it was called Little Poland. It was so Polish that the Pope himself once took a detour to visit this 2-square-mile island in the middle of Detroit. But a few decades ago, immigrants from Asia and the Middle East began pouring into Hamtramck, making this America's first Muslim-majority city. Photographer Ryan Garza and I spent nearly a year in Hamtramck to document the seismic changes taking place there. The result is a 5-part series called 2 Square Miles. Part 1 made its debut on Tuesday, and each installment publishes one day at a time over the course of the week. You can access the series at freep.com/Hamtramck. Then, the entire project will be issued as a full-color pullout section in the Sunday print edition of the Detroit Free Press next week, June 1st. There's no place like Hamtramck, and this is a look at how it got to be that way.
I'm Sue Solaski, Detroit Free Press food and restaurant writer. Artisan toast and juice concept, Toastique, a fast casual restaurant that also offers smoothies in a coffee bar, is expanding across the United States. A second Michigan location was just announced on Friday. This fall, Toastique will open at 89 Monroe Street in downtown Detroit, just steps from Campus Martius. When it opens, Toastique is expected to be an all-day cafe with a wellness-focused menu offering nutritious grab-and-go options. Toastique, which got its start in Washington, D.C., has more than 30 locations nationwide and is known for its gourmet toasts, bowls, juices, and coffee, plus other all-day brunch items. Its first Michigan location opened last August in Ann Arbor at 200 East Washington Street. Toastique boasts a health-focused menu. The chain includes ingredients that are sourced in season and responsibly, touting whole foods are our whole thing, according to its website.
Hey there, everybody. This is Omari Sanko for the Second, Pistons beat writer for the Detroit Free Press. On this week's episode of our podcast, The Pistons Post, Bryce Simon and I were joined by Keith Smith to break down the Pistons' offseason finances, how they may tackle free agency, and more. Here's a quick snippet of our conversation. Obviously, the cap rules could get a little confusing, but you're talking about if a team could be over the cap or under the cap and, how cap holds work and all that. So, long story short, Pistons have 2 paths they could pursue here. Can you just give us an overview of both paths and sort of what the implications of both would be?
Yeah, so unlike prior years where it was, hey, we're going to, get rid of everything we can and we're going to have $50 million in cap space or whatever it worked out to. It's not that way this year. We talked about it, and it's not all Cade Cunningham's got bump up in the extension. There's just, they signed other guys in years past. They've drafted guys with high picks and the like. So now we're in a position where if they go the cap space route, the ways to start thinking about this are, if you're going to do that, the common thought process would be you clear the decks of anything that is not guaranteed salary. And there are ways you could create even more if you were to waive and stretch a guy and the like. And I just don't think that's going to be a thing for the Pistons. It just doesn't make sense. They don't have anybody in a position to really do that with. So if we go the clear the deck route, that means all free agent cap holds, we're renouncing all of them.
You can hear that full conversation in this week's episode of The Pistons Post, which is available wherever you listen to podcasts. And as always, you can find our latest coverage on freep.com/sports.
Find more from the Detroit Free Press on freep.com. That's FREEP.com. Thank you for listening, and you'll hear more from us tomorrow.